Here I am on the air. Holy smokes. My makeup isn't ready. Bring it up there, please, will you, Skip? This lady writes me and says, I saw your picture in Playboy. Mr. Shepard, you're cute. Hey, there's talk of me doing a center fold out here before the year is out, friends. You know that a new legendary character has entered American legends now? Johnny Potseed. Oh, you know who Johnny Potseed is out there planting all that pot all over. Oh, yeah, kids will be reading about him in school 150 years from now. Yes, we have no bananas. We have no bananas tonight. La cha 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 cha. I have a fantastic voice when I sing in the John. Bring it up large, Skip. Happy Saturday to you. La cha 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 cha. Thank you, Skip. There we go. Hey, listen, I got to salute the Red Guard. This is the first time I've saluted the Red Guard ever in China, and we just got to take for creative Red Guardism. I guess I can put it that way. I suppose you saw the little note recently that along the Chinese border, they've got 800,000 troops along there. And, well, I'll tell you, the Russians are looking over at the Chinese, and the Chinese are looking over at the Russians. And the other day, the Russians really got bugged because the Red Guards and other Maoist agitators have been walking along the Soviet frontier post. And among other incidents that have recently developed is that the Red Guards at one spot on the Xinjiang border repeatedly took down their pants, turned their backsides towards the Soviet Union while shouting aloud, revisionism! Oh, revisionism! Imperialist dog! Revisionism! Well, the Russians, and, they're pretty shrewd guys themselves, they adroitly stopped this tactic by holding up large color portraits of Mao, thus directing the moon back in the direction from whence it came. If you will give me cut 2 there, please, that razzmatazz one. Yeah, record 2. Sneak it in there. No, that's record 1. Record 2. Sneak it in there. There it is. Very good. All right, put it up there big now. That's creative political mooning. We haven't discussed the political moon yet. And tonight is not a show about mooning, but, we just thought you ought to know that things are going on. Oh, I wish I could shimmy like my sister Kate. Hey, she shakes it. She shakes it like jelly on a plate. Let's sing it out now, gang. La da 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 da. I wish I could shimmy like my sister Kate. Yeah. I wish I could shimmy like my sister Kate. She shakes it, breaks it off like jelly on a plate. Yeah. All right, that's enough of that. Hold there. I know it's a very interesting thing here. I'm using John Gambling's studio tonight, and one of the fascinating things I notice about John's studio is that since a certain well-publicized incident, his monitoring phones here are at least a third the volume that they used to be. They're very, very faint. What is it? I wish I could shake it, break it. Would you come in here, hon? Just come in here, and you turn up the program knob over there. I think he's got it turned way down. You just turn it. I know. It's all right. You're innocent. We're not blaming you. Just turn it up, that's all. Hello. Very good. A little more. There we go. A little bit more. That's it. That's fine. Much better. I wish I could... Hey, listen, I saw a great piece of graffiti. I thought I ought to report this. Down the 14th Street subway station there. Written on the side of a diet grape machine. And it said, it's later than I think. Remarkable piece of self-analysis, which you do not often see in the graffiti world. And we have one of our spies just nominated, and I must agree with him. He says, I think Ralph Cramden is one of the great tragic figures of our time. Do you agree with me? Listen, I want to tell you, I got a terrible weakness, friends, and I'm going to I know everybody's going to put me down for this, but I'm going to tell you that when all the dust settles, and that when all the Rowan and Martin tapes have disintegrated into dust, and that when all the Beverly Hillbillies rerun tapes have finally lost all their sprocket holes and they can't rerun them anymore, and when the last I Love Lucy rerun, you know, some of those Lucy reruns must have been shot 20 years ago. I'll tell you, Desi Arnaz looks like he's 15 on some of them. Fantastic. And you know, and are there people still watching them? That's what gets me. I want to salute those people out there. That's only in America. I think a little American music would clear the air there. All right, bring it together, friends. Hooray, hooray for the U.S. of A. Upwards and onwards we shall go ever on. Hooray for us as we march and the dust flies. Hooray for Tricky Dicky Nixon. Hooray, hooray, ever upward with the flags the bands are playing. Hooray for the 17,000 pom-pom girls and rockettes. Hooray for the University of you name it, They will march to victory in next week's game. Hooray, 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 hooray for Ben Casey, wherever he is today. Whatever happened to Route 66 and all them guys that used to be always rescuing girls in distress. Hooray for Medic. Hooray, 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 hooray for big shows of yesteryear. Hooray for Uncle Milty, Sid Caesar, and all the rest. Hooray, hooray, hooray for Milt Kamen. Hooray for Betty Furness. Hooray for Kitty Carlisle. Hooray for Tom Poston and Alan Ludden. Don't forget him. Hooray, hooray for the major talents around. Talents like Maury Amsterdam and Dagmar. Hooray for the great figures of the past. Hooray, 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 hooray for John Cameron Swayze. Hooray, 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 hooray. Quack, 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 quack. Reruns forever. Hooray, hooray, hooray. We're all together in it. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Hooray for Mr. Moto and the $1 million turkey. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Ain't it lucky we can get involved now in color? Hooray for Barbara Streisand and them lucky people at night, other people. Hooray for Carol Burnett, the loudest mouth on TV yet. Hooray, hooray for old Sid Caesar, for Art Carney and all the rest. Steve Allen shall march ever forward. Oh, Johnny Carson, we love you. Hey, that was pretty nice, wasn't it? Oh, yeah, it's a great moment in life here, you know. Reset that. We'll need that, friends. Hooray for Chitty. That's a catchy tune. I wonder what tune that is. La-da-tee, chitty-chee, chitty-chee-chee. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I see there's an advertising man on. Big story about him here in the New York Times advertising section. His name is Barnum. What a kick in the you-know-what. Oh, terrible. Hey, I want to salute the Swiss out there, too. You know, we never hear much about the peace-loving Swiss, you know? You know, everybody talks about the peace-loving Swiss. We would like to salute the peace-loving Swiss. The Schweizers. Yeah, they call themselves Schwitz over there, you know. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's called Schweiz. We want to salute the peace-loving Swiss. I have a little news note here that came in from Reuters. That's a very official news service. That's much more official than UP or AP. Reuters, man. I mean, Switzerland shelled by accident. Liechtenstein today. Missing Austria by only 500 yards. All right. That's okay. You hold it there. I'll tell you what we'll need with that. No, we won't salute them. I think a musical salute is not in keeping with a country that shells the wrong country and just misses another one by 500 yards. The accident, and we're quoting, failed to arouse the tiny country's 25-man army to action. Although a police spokesman did say that it would have been nice if Switzerland first declared war before shelling his country, Liechtenstein. An embarrassed Swiss spokesman said, "Well, it was by accident. You see, one of our guns was facing the wrong way, and there was only practice shells anyway." No one was injured by the 5 shells, which hurled 6 miles across the Rhine into Liechtenstein. They must have been pretty big practice shells if they went 6 miles, friends. What little I know about ordnance, I know that you just don't throw in a shell 6 miles unless it's a big baby. Hooray for the Swiss, la-da-tee, peace-loving Swiss, la-da-tee-tee-tee-tee. Oh, speaking of peace, I was going to tell you about my secret terrible vice that I've got. I just got an awful vice. And I know that in this day of the super hip and you know, the whole shtick, and, you know, I mean, what are you going to do? Wait till they start bringing out vinyl jockey shorts, you know, it's going to be exciting. I'm looking for that. And, yeah, you know, have you had a vague suspicion that a lot of the top fashion designers today are involved in a secret international ugly contest? You can design the ugliest jazz. Oh, I'll tell you, there's one cigarette commercial that has some of the worst-looking clothes I've ever seen in my life. And if you think that's bad, friends, you ought to do a musical one time. I did a musical once, and they had this designer. And I just don't want to go any further with that. It was so certainly depressing. Oh, speaking of the depressing things of our time, yes, in answer to a question from a listener. If you remember, a couple of shows ago, we did a little thing about the college that elected this young man homecoming queen. Well, maybe they knew more about him than we did. I don't know. I'm not here. But this college elected him, you know, homecoming queen, the big football game. I don't know how it came off. I was curious to know how the homecoming ceremonies came off, because that was the last week or so they had the game. But he asked a question. He says, wasn't it Grinnell University, the one that elected a male homecoming queen? He said, wasn't that the same place that a year or two ago had a yearbook so dirty that the printers wouldn't even touch it? The printers wouldn't touch it. That's right, friends. So if you think it's all happening here, man, I'll tell you, you ought to go out to Grinnell. Things are swinging out there, man, all the way. All the ways, Bill. Now, yes, in answer to a question, a serious question, yes. That was Grinnell College. I think it's Grinnell College. It isn't Grinnell University, is it? Yes, it's Grinnell College. Oh, here's a cartoon idea sent by a listener. We thought you ought to know that the minds are percolating out there. 2 medieval Spaniards are standing on a corner in medieval Spain. One pokes the other in his buskin. That was my word. He's got these ribs, you know, surrounded by a buskin. One pokes the other in his ribs and says, I say, did you hear about the Italian navigator who wanted to go to India? Oh, you gotta have more than cheesecake up in the head to appreciate that one. I know you won't get that one. Hooray for the U.S. of A. Johnny Potts ain't forever. All right, now, once again, bring me on that little American music there. We want to salute the U.S. Armed Forces Reserve. Bring it on. All together, man. Tonight we have an special news bulletin from one of the Army newspapers announcing something which I think could very well be, if not revolutionary, at least basically catastrophic in the Army. Members of the U.S. Army Reserve who are resident students at Army service schools are now competing in the Army's Thinking Awards program, which is being sponsored by the Combat Development Command, CDC, Fort Belvoir, Virginia. Designed to stimulate original and imaginative thinking, the program provides monetary awards, trophies, and recognitions for really creative ideas. I wonder if the Army's serious about that. Yeah. Now, the reason I brought this up is that, they could be opening a can of peas. The Army, they start giving you little awardees there for creative thinking. Because, having been in the Army, I can tell you that the one area in which the creative thinker in the Army works best, two separate areas. Both of them are anti-Army. I'm serious. If I want to salute another guy out there, speaking of a great moment in military annals. It's a thing that a lot of guys I know dreamed of, and I'd like to salute. Bring it on, please, again, if you will. Stick it in there. Did you hear about the guy recently in the elections, just a couple of weeks ago, the big elections there, that there was a PFC sitting around in the barracks? And he decided to run for office in absentia. He did. And a son of a gun won. And they, he got the telegram, says you are now, whatever it is, councilman at large or alderman for the 3rd Ward or whatever it is he won. And that means that you are now eligible for a discharge immediately from the Army. Oh, wow. Bring it up there. We want to salute that guy, man. That's doing it the hard way. Oh, hooray for the U.S. fighting men who will ever be top. G.I. ingenuity forever. Oh, well, let me tell you. I want to tell you a story. If you guys, that reminds me, that little piece there. Is it almost time for a station break? Just about. All right, before we do the station break, we are going to do a station break now. This is your friendly voice of, shucks, what are we the voice of anyway, come to think of it? Doggone it, I knew it was somebody. Oh yeah, this is the John Gambling station in the heart of New York City, and I'm not John Gambling. You wouldn't catch John Gambling on at this hour on a Saturday night, friends. I'll tell you, this Class X time. But this is me. And this is Radio Free Broadway, W-O-R. W-O-R. And now, big number 14 on the Smash Old and Goldie Hit Parade. Oh, I forgot where I was. Holy smokes. Gee whiz. Almost thought I was in radio there for a minute. Are you guys aware that kind of radio, all you gotta do is turn the dial a millimeter to the left or the right, and you'll hear thousands of slope heads doing just exactly what I did there. Do you know that kind of radio is called in the trade? That's called the Pimple and Acme format. Did you know that? The Pimple and Acne format. Did you ever heard that expression around NAB? Yeah. And they have very serious seminars on it. And you'll sit in there, here'll be all these serious guys, with the gray silver hair and the $400 suits sitting in there with the big badges, with the name of their station on it. And there's a guy up there who's wearing a checkered tie. He's got a shifty look in the eye, and he's got charts and graphs talking about the slide rule approach to the pimple format. And hello, Jimmy. Hello there. And you want to see us do that again? Watch. Here comes Jimmy Mackley, our fearless program director. Watch this, Jimmy. And now here it is, number 14 on the Old and Golden Hit Parade. Hey, how'd you like that? I was imitating radio. That's called the Acne format, Jim, in case you're interested. The pimple trade. Hooray. Oh, I didn't invent it. That was the first time I heard that phrase was in a seminar at the NAB convention in Washington, D.C. 2 years ago. And I saw a guy up there with a giant slide rule. He had one of these big circular IBM slide rules. And he was giving a very serious seminar entitled The Mathematical and Computerized Approach to the Pimple Trade. I'm not inventing it. I'm just, you listen, what you, see, he doesn't believe it. And what you don't believe, friend, is exactly reality. We believe plays and novels, but we don't believe reality. We really don't. It's just too nutty. It's like, I mean, you know, you were in the Army, you know, and I just finished saluting a PFC who was sitting around in the barracks. I don't know whether you saw the little news note. PFC sitting around in the barracks, and, you know, he's uptight, and he decided to run for office in the election. He ran for office, and he won. And it was only then that he discovered that he was now exempt from military duties. Kicked right out of the Army. You can imagine there was a lot of weeping in the barracks around that scene. And I'd like to take this point now to, you know, hearing that story reminded me of you know, this brought up a whole area of the Army that I hadn't thought about for a long time. And that is, you know, most people don't know what they talk about in the barracks. You never see in Army movies guys just sitting around, you know, just sitting there rapping, shooting the breeze. And what do they talk about? Well, whenever you see a movie where they purport to be telling you what they talk about, there's always a scene where Donald O'Connor takes out his wallet and shows his girl's picture to Van Johnson. You know, that kind of thing. I never once, in all the years I was in the Army, and I was in the Army longer than I care to even think about, I never once saw anybody whip out the picture of his girl and say, here, this is, her name is Emily. You know how the gang crowd, hey, gee, wowee, some stuff. Holy smokes, you're sure a lucky guy, Lefty. What a beautiful girl. What are you going to do when you get back? Well, Emily and I got an idea that, well, we'd just like to have a family and well, maybe I'll go into business with my father. Gee, Lefty, what a beautiful girl. And are them your kids? Never saw that in the Army. Never. That's the movie Army. That's the TV Army. That's McHale's Navy. That ain't the real thing. And hearing about this PFC reminds me of it's amazing how your mind will work in the cameo. You know, there's a theory about memory which has been kicked around among psychologists, and it's called, have you ever heard of the cameo theory? The cameo theory. Well, the cameo theory has to do with the way memory works. You know, memory does not work like a long reel of film, where everything is as equally developed and bright and sharp as everything else. It just doesn't work like that. Now, when you think about your memory, you know, you just really think about your memory. I don't mean remember things now. Think about your memory at this point. Now, just think about it for a minute. How do you see your memory? How do you see it? Do you see it as if it's some kind of a long hall? It's vaguely lit and gray or something? Do you see it as the house, or do you think of it in a specific term? Like when I say to you, your memory, do you see a house that you lived in? Do you see your parents? Well, that's not memory. You're talking about people. I'm talking about memory. You know, you've lived a long life. I don't care whether you're 9. You've lived a long life. You've seen a lot of suns come up and a lot of suns go down. Now, the question that I would like to ask is, you know, kind of a weird one. does a person of 10 have more memories or less memories than a person of, say, 70? No, don't be so quick to answer that. I mean it. Don't be so quick to say, oh, well, yeah, immediately all the hip types are going to say, well, 1 of 10. Well, that's the question, too. It's not, so here's what the cameo theory consists of. Do you find this boring or not? You know, interesting. Well, the cameo theory is that, and this is just a theory, it's, just thrown out here for what it's worth. The cameo theory is, very roughly paraphrased, that your memory, your real memory, as opposed to your subconscious, your memory consists of a series of cameos. And there are large areas. Now, these cameos are separate and distinct from one another. And these cameos are separated from each other by large areas of nothingness. And now it makes some sense, doesn't it, now, when you think about it? And the nothingness can go for years. And now, if you're deliberately prodded about the nothingness, and somebody says, now, come on, I want you to really remember the time you were working at Oschenschlager's grocery store. Now, really remember it. And you'll say, Oschenschlager's grocery store. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Uh-huh. And you can slowly begin to reconstruct Oschenschlager's grocery store. You can begin to even see the scales in the store. The guy weighed the summer sausage on. Okay? Do you want to try do you want to really try something? You want to be part of a memory experiment right now? A genuine one. And it's going to require some specific activity. This is true listener participation. It's going to require specific attention, involvement, and activity on the part of the listener type who's listening. Now, here's what you're going to have. Here's what I want you to do now. Now, close your eyes if you can. If you're driving on the, all right. Now, close your eyes. Now, what do you see when your eyes are closed? What do you see? Honestly, what do you see? Okay. I'll tell you what you see generally, most people. You see this kind of vaguely lit, it looks vaguely like a darkish kind of beaded screen with little black dots, and even you can see a few little blue streaks running across it, and a few little...
WBAI, flipping the tape, New York.
Like a darkish kind of beaded screen with little black dots, and even you can see a few little blue streaks running across it, and a few little red dots here and there. It's like a color television set with no picture on the screen, no modulation, and yet you got the color turned all the way up. You see a few little things there. Have you ever seen that on a color TV set? Now, doesn't that look pretty much like what you're actually seeing with your eyes shut? Okay, now, try to totally wipe out everything out of your mind, just completely. Just deliberately say to yourself, I'm not going to think of nothing, and just look at that thing that you see in your eye with your eyes closed. Look at it. Look very seriously at it. Not passively, but look at it. Examine it. Look at the upper left-hand corner. Now look right in the middle and down. You know what you're looking at? You're actually looking at the endings of the nerves, really, of your retina. Did you know that? You're really looking. You're really looking at your eye in a way. Now this is a complex thing. Now wait a minute. Don't open your eyes now. Close your eyes again. Now, Concentrate. You don't want to see or think of anything. Just look at that beaded screen in your mind. Look right at it. Okay. Now, when I give you certain words, certain things to see, I want you just to watch that screen in your eyes and to see these things, to see a thing that I suggest to you. You ready now? Okay. A lake. Do you see a lake? Do you see it? Look carefully at it. Now, don't lose it. Don't lose the picture. Look at that lake. Where are you standing? Are you standing far away from it, or are you right on the shore? Now, have you ever seen that lake before? What time of the year is it? Is it spring, summer, winter? Look carefully now. What time of day is it? Is it early morning? Does it seem to be cold out or windy? Now look carefully. Now move closer to the lake. Do you see any other people? Okay, now come back to life. Now that's an interesting thing you've just done. If you really did it, you find that's very interesting, because in most cases, the lake that you saw was a lake that you might have seen, but have no actual remembrance of it. That is, conscious remembrance. I'll let you think about that for a minute. You say, no, you never saw that lake before. Don't be too sure of that. You did see that lake before. Okay? Some people will automatically see a specific place they've been. Other people will create an imaginary landscape. Two types of people. I'll let you think about that. All right, now you're going to have another exercise. Is this boring you, or you dig this? To me, I'm fascinated by the mind, you know, and this is part of the. Hey, by the way, before we go on with this next thing, did you ever get that number in there, Lee? Well, it doesn't say it. I don't know where. Oh, here it is. Hey, listen. Before I've got to announce this before we go any further. Here's your chance, friends, to celebrate Thanksgiving early. A big live turkey. Shepherd's putting on a gigantic Thanksgiving turkey to, and by the way, we've already opened the bids for the cranberry concession in the lobby, and it's going to be a fantastic big Thanksgiving turkey. And it's a gigantic big live show, and it's going to be, it's backed by Fordham University, and it is for Fordham University, and it's the Rose Hill campus. You got that? The Rose Hill campus, and it's going to be held in the Campus Center Ballroom this coming Saturday, November 23rd. I repeat, give me a little echo chamber in there. Next Saturday, November 23rd. Now close your eyes and I will stencil this on your psyche. Next Saturday, November 23rd, 8 p.m. Rose Hill Campus, Fordham University. Rose Hill Campus, Fordham University. Fordham University. Shepherd, gigantic turkey. Saturday, 23rd, November. You got it? November 23rd. Rose Hill Campus. Fordham University. Okay? Now listen carefully. If you want to get your tickets in advance, call this number. All set? Write it down. Call this number. 933-2233. 933-2233. Extension 647. I repeat, that is your code for this week. That is your assignment for this week. Call 933-2233. Extension 647. You get them tickets. Over and out. All right. How was that? Wasn't that something? I tell you, it got right down to the nitty there, you know? Oh yeah. All right, now listen. I gotta continue this now. I'm looking forward to this. By the way, I have never played Fordham University. That just suddenly hit me. I once appeared at a graduation dinner up there a couple of years ago, but I've never played Fordham. I've played every other university in this area, with the exception of Fordham. And that reminds me. I'll bring it out right now. A lot of people wonder every time I play a school. I get all kinds of letters from kids at other schools, other universities, say, "How come you never played Pitcairn and Psychiatric Institute?" Well, if you want to make arrangements for a big show at your school, just drop a letter to Lee Brown, WOR. That's all there is to it. We'll work something out. Okay? Now, getting back to this experiment. Now, this is something very serious, very, very seriously. I want you to listen to this now. Wipe as much out of your mind as you can now. Now, this is going to require absolute concentration. I'm going to give you a scary lesson, a really scary lesson in your memory. Okay, now look carefully. Close your eyes. Look at that beaded screen. Look carefully at it. Keep your mind absolutely blank. Just look at the screen. Concentrate on this screen. In fact, if you close your eyes even tighter, you can see little black dots moving up and down across it. You see them? Now, I want you to picture in your mind the very first kitchen that you can remember. Kitchen. The very first one. Can you see it? Hold it. Just look at it. Where are you standing? Are you standing in the door, looking in? Are you in the kitchen, looking out of a window? Look at the kitchen. Don't lose it. Look carefully at it. Now look down at your feet. What kind of floor is there? Is there a linoleum there? What color is it? Is it blue? White? Check. Look at it. Do you see the refrigerator? Now look out the window. Is it summer? Spring? time of day is it? Is it just getting dark? Now look over at the door. Walk towards the door. Does it go out to the back porch? Look at the door. Do you see the door knob? Look carefully at it. Is it brass? What kind of shoes are you wearing? Look down at your feet. Is there anyone else there? Now turn around. You see the table? What's on the table? Walk over to the table. Look at it. Look at the top of the table. Look down at it. Now move your head down to the table till your nose is almost touching it. Sniff it. Do you smell that? Can you smell the table? Okay, wake up. Now, what did you think of that? That's scary, isn't it? Now, I'll bet you reconstructed in your mind a kitchen that you probably have not thought of since you were maybe 2 or 3 years old, maybe 5. And I'll bet any money that if somebody had come up to you before you did this tonight and had said to you, what kind of linoleum did you have in the kitchen when you were 3? You'd have laughed at him and said, come on, how can you remember that? Did you actually remember it? Okay. Now you've had if you followed this, you have had a lesson in a technique that is used in a specific school of acting. Have you ever heard of the sense memory school? Sometimes called the method acting technique. Now that's really the basis, what you went through there, is really the basis of sense memory, of the method acting is Stanislavski, but it's more than that. It's what's really in your mind. I mean, it's there, you know. All this is all packed away. Now, I'll give. You want to hear it? You want to have another one? Okay. All right. Now, close your eyes again carefully. Just close them and wipe out everything that you can. Just see. This is very important. Is to not let anything else impinge on your mind, on your thoughts when you're doing this. And just look at that screen in your mind there. See it? All right. Now, I want you to see, picture in your mind, the first schoolroom that you can remember. Just see it there. What do you see? Hold it there. Now don't try to change it and think of something else. Hold that picture right there. What you first thought of. You see it? Look at it. Is it morning? Where are you sitting in the room? The back? Front? Is there somebody else in the room? Or are you there alone? You You see the blackboard? Look to your left. What do you see? Windows? Cupboards? Look to your right. Is there somebody sitting right next to you? Look at him. Who is it? Do you see the teacher? What colored dress is she wearing? What grade is it? What are you wearing? Can you see your shirt? Look at your shirt. Wake up. Oh, you'll understand that this is dangerous stuff that I'm dealing with right now. I'm serious. This is dangerous stuff. And I'll tell you a little story about it right now. That I one time cameos. You see, what I was bringing out was something that was in between the cameos, in that great dark gray area where you never really think you have anything, but it's all there, like some fantastic teeming painting by Bruegel or Hieronymus Bosch. All those things are there, and very clearly. I'll bet you were astounded at how clearly you could see that kitchen. I bet you were astounded at how clearly you could see that classroom. Really definite. Well, I remember one time. I'll show you another one. Now, you ready for another question? We don't have much time, but just close. Let's try one more. And this is one of the most dangerous ones of them all. Close your eyes. Look at the screen. Look. Really look at it. Just be relaxed and look at the screen. Okay. I want you to see a house. Do you see it? Is it noon? 3 o'clock? Morning? Where are you standing? Out in front? The street looking at it? Is it green? Is it spring? Winter? Look at one of the windows. Look carefully at it. Get closer to it. Look at the window. What do you see? The curtains? What color are they? Do you see somebody in there? Do you see that person? Who is it? Okay. That's a dangerous one. You understand that, don't you? Well, one night, I had, there was an actress that I was working with on this thing. And I had never met this girl before. And we concentrated, worked, and all of a sudden, without any warning, when she was looking in through the window, she had a tremendous emotional, she almost broke down. And it took us 15, 20 minutes to bring her back She was so hysterical because she had seen somebody in the house that she hadn't thought of since she was a little kid. An uncle of hers that was tremendously important to her when she was only 2 or 3. And he was gone. He was dead. And it just hit her just like that. And she could see him clear and alive. That memory's a powerful thing, friends. It has nothing to do with nostalgia. It has to do with the very stuff of which life itself is made. That's what life is. And as you go forward in life, you look forward to accruing more and more interesting cameos of one kind or another. That's what life is. And all the gray stuff in between is where the real nitty-gritty grows and flourishes. And it cuts through all boundaries. Race, sex, religion, color. That's what life is. And that's one of the reasons why man has a tremendous desire to read novels and to go to movies, because he's borrowing vicarious memories. Every time you see a picture, it is the memory of a character telling you what happened the time they tried to rob the bank in Boston. Or you read a novel. It's what happened the time Chinese Gordon held them off at Khartoum. Borrowing a vicarious skein of memories of one kind or another. It's a strange show tonight. Yeah. And you know, what's fascinating about memory is that memory knows no age. That's another interesting thing. That a kid remembering that very first kitchen is in exactly the same spot in time as a person who is 85 years old remembering that same kitchen. And it seems the same distance back. That's the curious thing about it. The time sequence is totally gone. It knows no time. That first kitchen seems as remote to a kid of 15 as it does to a person of 85. Now hold that one in your hand. Roll it around like silly putty, friends. And while you're at it, remember to keep your knees loose. And don't forget that number.